What is going on, guys? Welcome back to DS Asylum. I'm your Ward of the Witcher Shine, and today we're going over the top 6 most underrated units in Dragon Ball Legends that you should be using. I figured I'd do this because there's also going to be a list of the probably just top 5, maybe 6 of the most overrated units that aren't as good as you think they are. And then there's an entire video dedicated to why Namek Goku is not as good as you think he is. So I figured I would do an underrated list. So the reason why there's 6, there's going to be 3 Sparkings and 3 Extremes. And then there's going to be a bonus at the end. The reason why it's not just called 7 then is because it's not just one unit. The bonus is multiple units. And you can probably guess who I'm going to say. But just in case you can't think of it, just wait till the end and we'll get to that. So let's start things off with the free-to-play Android 21. The free-to-play Android 21 is easily one of the best units we've gotten in a while, especially free-to-play. I would easily say she's the best unit. She's the best free-to-play unit we've gotten since base Vegeta. Easy. Is she better than base Vegeta? Maybe, maybe not. Truthfully, I'd say she's probably just as good, considering how she goes on the same amount of teams, not the same teams. But you can put her on female warriors, androids, regen, whereas, base Vegeta, he pretty much goes on Saiyans and fusions. Actually, yeah, that's it. 21 actually goes on more teams than he does. And she's pretty much a staple. Like, she's a ridiculously good support unit. And her and the new support Goku break the mold of supports just being supports, right? Because of how ridiculous her support is, it enables her to also do damage when units, like Baby isn't exactly known for, high damage. He's known for making regen unbeatable. Like, I think the only reason that you run Baby over 21 on regen is because Baby buffs the one thing that, makes regeneration, and that's the health restoration, right? Whereas 21 is more of a regen killer with her nerfing the opponent's health restoration. But if you don't have Baby, you should absolutely be running her on regen, especially if you have the summonable 21, the Majin one. If you want to run androids, I feel like she is an essential androids unit. I feel like if you're not running her on androids, you might as well not do it at all. Like, she is absolutely essential on androids, and a unit, she's easily number 1. The number 1 unit that you should be using, but I never see her. I never see her, and she's easily the number 1 unit on this list that you should be using. But getting on to our first extreme, it's the movie Trunks. The Wrath of the Dragon Trunks. So, keeping on the theme of support units, this guy almost single-handedly justifies the existence of Vegeta Family. So, Vegeta Family is known for high damage and no defenses. This guy makes it so that damage easily, Vegeta Family is the single most damaging team in the game as long as this fucker is alive. As long as you can keep him alive, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta easily knocks out anything. He could even take on units with type advantage over him. Obviously, you don't want to be hit, but if you can get that hit, the done. It easily makes Vegeta Family the strongest offensive team in the game. And on top of that, he provides auto healing for Vegeta Family. Are you going to run him on movies? Maybe not, right? I think 13 movie Goku fits the bill better for movies. But you absolutely still can. Especially if you want to run Tapion. I feel like if you want to run Tapion, these two are pretty much like, you kind of have to run them together, because that's the point. Tapion gets a buff if Trunks is on the team. So you're kind of supposed to run them together, obviously, but legit, like him, Tapion, and frickin' Bojack. You got Bojack coming in with this mind if I cut in crap. And then Trunks' auto healing enables you to heal back that 15% that you lost. It's ridiculous. He's an amazing, absolutely amazing support unit, and you don't see him enough. Moving on, though, is Metal Cooler. Metal Cooler had so much good shit in his arsenal that I couldn't even fit his picture on the second slot. If his green card gave him Ki, I would honestly say he has the single best green card in the game. Between making the opponent take more damage, destroying all of their cards, and being comboable off of anything or from anything. He heals the whole team and cancels their attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. He heals himself by 5% just from coming in and gets increased damage and Ki recovery and destroys one of your opponent's cards. He reduces the opponent's Ki by 70 with his super attack. He's absolutely ridiculous, and on top of that, he makes the opponent have more arts card draw speed for strike and blast whenever they use one, and it may only be +3, and you may be thinking, well, that's not a lot. +3 can become +15 real fast. Like, +3 can very quickly become +15, +21. Like, if they're not switching out, they can easily have arts card costs that are way too high to use. So I still think Metal Cooler is better than the Transforming Frieza. Honestly, I think he's significantly better in every possible way than the Transforming Frieza. And people really should be using him more, honestly. I don't get the hype behind the Transforming Frieza. I think he sucks. I have him. I do. And I think he's terrible. So, yeah. There's not much more to say about Metal Cooler. You should be using him over the Transforming Frieza. Just, you should. Next is the Extreme Beerus, who I forgot to put the initial picture in here for. Everyone is always on the hype for, Kaioken Blue Goku. And as good as Kaioken Blue Goku is, he is better than this Beerus. This is the one unit on the list where it's like, I'm just trying to highlight the fact that he's good. He's not necessarily a better fit on a team than the other yellow, which is the Kaioken Blue Goku. But I'd say when the Kaioken Blue Goku isn't in Kaioken, this Beerus is probably on par with him. And then obviously for the 30 counts that he is in Kaioken, he's better. So there's not too much to say about this Beerus. I just feel like people don't give him enough credit. And like if people don't have Kaioken Blue Goku, they usually won't even bother bringing the Beerus. Like they could have the yellow Beerus there and like clearly see like an extremely strong purple unit on my team, and they just don't bring him. And they should be, because he's really, really good. But that's pretty much all I have to say about him. He gets a lot of buffs. Run him with Whis. Obviously, it's not the most ideal coloring, but you could still do it. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that one. Next is the new Raddatz. People sleep on this Raddatz, and I think he is absolutely phenomenal. This new Raddatz, if LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku didn't exist, I would say he's probably the best green unit that buffs Saiyans in the game. Honestly. If LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku didn't exist, he'd be the best green Saiyan that actually boosts Saiyans. Not counting LF Blue Vegeta because he boosts God Ki. It's different. And Vegeta family. But yeah, this guy, and even though you can only do it once, having a green card that cancels your enemy attribute upgrades, that's really clutch in like end game moments. If you are smart enough to just save that, that can make the difference towards the end of a game. So you really should. If you have this Raddatz and you don't have LF Super Saiyan 3, you should absolutely be using this Raddatz. He is amazing, and people keep sleeping on him, and I don't know why. But next is the EX Zamasu. So EX Zamasu gets a little bit of street cred, being the only green unit for God Ki that's not an LF. In case you haven't noticed, there are 3 green units for God Key. 1 is an extreme and 2 are LFs. So that already gives him a jump over everyone else. But people, just like the GT Vegeta, who almost made it into this list, the only reason he didn't was because I wanted to talk about the Raddatz more because he was newer. But the Extreme Zamasu is here for the same reasons that GT Vegeta was going to be on this list. And that's constant debuffs whenever he uses a blast card. Being able to debuff your opponent on top of him covering Rose, who just by default when the battle starts makes everyone take more damage against God Key, and then him coming in and making everyone take even more damage whenever he uses a blast card, he's absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that people, I mean, again, a lot of people have one of the 2 LFs, right? But for the people who don't and do have the Extreme Zamasu, you should be bringing him and you should be using him. Especially if you have him at 3 stars and he's actually boosting God Key. At 6 stars, I think he does double attack for God Key, and that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, honestly, he's a phenomenal unit and you should be using him. But let's get on to the last one. Yeah, the EX Ginyu Force. Of course it's the EX Ginyu Force. Like, I told you it was going to be more than 1 unit. The EX Ginyu Force is easily the greatest free-to-play thing we've ever gotten. Ever. Like, these units, especially if they're all 6-star and over, they're absolutely dumb. And then if you start pairing them with, you know, units like Golden Frieza, Full Power Frieza, the Sparking Ginyu Goku, the new Broly Chilai, you start combining these things, and the team just becomes absolutely stupid. So you should absolutely, especially if you have them 6-star or over, you should absolutely be using these units in some variation of Frieza Force, and especially if you have the LF support Frieza. If you have the LF support Frieza, you have no excuse to not be running some variation of Frieza Force with these guys on it. Especially with Ginyu giving double attack to Frieza Force, Raccoon giving double defense. Everyone here except Guldo gives a double buff, and it's amazing. The team is amazing, and the bench is amazing if you just want to run like a Frieza team. So you absolutely should be using these units in some capacity. But let me know what you guys thought of my little list here. If there's anyone you thought I should have had on the list instead, let me know. If there's anyone you think is like severely underrated, let me know in the comments down below. If you think I misjudged probably the Ginyu Force one, because you do see Ginyu Force every now and then, just not a high level play. Let me know. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Hope y'all enjoyed watching, and I will see all of you inmates back here at the asylum for the next video. Peace.